We can come back to the concept of sustainability as it. And I think that if you ask 10 people about sustainability, you might indeed get 11 definitions. My own short version of it happens to be, do we happen to have a long-term vision of what we're all about? Quite frankly, what it means is that do we have a long-term perspective or a short-term perspective? Business, certainly in North America, is often criticized for having a short-term perspective. Indeed, every 90 days they have to do financial results, and shareholders react to that. I tend to think that that causes business to be suboptimal, and taking a longer range view of things, a longer range view of everything from where am I going to locate, what suppliers am I going to use, who are my customers, and even down to what business am I in and what business should I be in. Taking the long-term view also means that you have a sustainable firm, not one that is actually making a profit for this quarter, but one that will actually be around and doing those things that society expects it to do. Employ people, provide goods for our standard of living. Right? Those are things that you really can't do in just 90 days. You have to be around not only in the 90 days, but also 2 years from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. My short-term definition of sustainability. Number one, I have to have an organization that's economically viable. Number two, it also has to be ethically viable. Right? Doing the right things, not necessarily operating just according to the regulations and the law, but if you know that you should be doing something that is more robust than that, then doing that. And then finally, in consuming materials and other kinds of resources, it's using them in a manner that suggests that future generations are also going to be able to use them. How is sustainability and manufacturing going to be linked? Let's first of all talk about manufacturing. Manufacturing is there to provide the goods and services that society requires for its everyday sustainment. Well, actually, there's the word sustainability actually embedded in another sense. And if I look at sustainability, it's saying that, do I have manufacturing processes that produce residuals that become a threat to society? If that's the case, then I should be looking for alternatives. I have years of research of spending with companies where we've been looking at this. With a furniture manufacturer in Pennsylvania that was using plastic, actually specifically plastic foam, and having huge amounts of waste that they were taking to the landfill. They actually had a special truck that they used to haul this away. They found an alternative use, and actually now have a separate business that's taking waste from one company and turning it into something of value, so that it becomes product instead of residual. And that's just one example. I've been through printing companies, pharmaceutical companies, electronics manufacturers, all that are doing things that are saying, wait a minute, why are we paying money to have residuals taken away or otherwise disposed of, when these actually do represent value that we can turn into something else that still has use? So there is an efficiency issue here as well. Sustainability is about a lot of things. Sustainability is about how good a corporate citizen I may be, what I represent economically to a region. I think sustainability is also about the relationship between a firm and the population of the community where it's located. When I look at globalization, I've got my own concerns about globalization. I think that if you're looking at the world and us as individuals, as citizens of the world, then doing business globally makes some sense. Where I do have some concerns is that we are moving so many goods, so many miles, in such volume, that one of the sustainable issues that I have right before me at the moment, and one that I continue to research, is whether we have the transportation infrastructure necessary to not only maintain those current levels, but actually to see them grow further. You only need to drive on interstates, actually interstates in my state of Pennsylvania, certain times of the day, certain times of the night. We have traffic congestion. If you look at the North American rail network, it is also congested, and it's extremely difficult to add new rail lines. In some cases, you could actually double track an area that's been single tracked maybe 25 years ago, but the railroads are facing capacity crunches. If you look at port areas, where do you get additional land to build ports? You can, even if you find that additional land, what do you do for highway and rail access to those ports? If we look at the transportation needs of the United States and the fact that that network requires some substantial investment at this point, I don't think either the federal government or really the average citizen has any appreciation for the fact that that this entire network is extremely fragile. Actually, out here in the Midwest, that disastrous bridge collapse on the Mississippi back in August really just highlights how fragile the system may indeed be. I think we've reached pretty close to a limit on our ability to move goods across international boundaries. That there will be manufacturing in this country, and that a lot of those companies that have elected to move elsewhere may find themselves moving back.